I am Ray Cumby, Creative Director at Fit for Art Patterns, and I welcome you to this video series on the common fitting adjustments for the Fit for Art Patterns coat patterns. That's right, we're excited to tell you that we've added another coat to our line of patterns. It's found in this new book that we are presenting. Fox Chapel Press has presented, and it will drop in about a week on December 17th, 2024. Because of that, and the Opus coat is similar to the Tabula Rasa jacket, but not exactly, and here's our Tabula Rasa jacket. We are ready to show you how to do alterations on both of those. We had a series of videos that had been made quite some time ago on how to adjust the Tabula Rasa jacket, and now it's time for us to show you how to work with both patterns and maybe a little bit of a conversation of how they're different and why you might choose one over the other. The Opus pattern, which you see behind me here, is a quilted jacket. That's what that pattern is made for distinctively, and it's more of an overcoat shape. You can see this is a mock-up that was made for this particular jacket, and here is the round back adjustment that we have put in after we made the original mock-up because the wearer needed that adjustment on the back of her coat. Here you see the Tabula Rasa jacket. This one has been made as a vest. I'm wearing one in rayon made as the jacket. The Tabula Rasa jacket has a couple of different fronts and a couple of different sides, so you can get a good mix of shape that matches your particular body. The Opus coat, one front and one side, and so you might have to do a little bit of adjustment, although because the coat is a little looser and cut a little more full, you might not have to do any adjustments at all. It's a big adventure, and we're glad you're on it with us. So we hope you will settle in and check out the videos that you need. They are each labeled for the kind of information we're giving you. And right now, I'm going to show you the first video about prepping your pattern so that you can do some really fine pattern work. So, enjoy. It's always smart to start by carefully preparing your pattern. Fit for Art, we're always talking about sewing successfully, and it's really important that you have your pattern prepared in a way that will help it last a long time as you are getting your fitting process completed. And you want to make sure that the changes you're making are done in a clean fashion. And so I have cut out here the front AB of the Tabula Rasa jacket. That's the smaller bust line front. And this is the current rendition of the pattern. And it has all the sizes, and each one has its own little sort of annotation, which makes it really easy for you to use. And you can see that it's a little rumply, and patterns do get rumply, but as we're working on them for good results, we want them to be as smooth as possible. And so I have my little project iron here, and I have it set on a fairly low setting with no steam. And the first thing I'm going to do is press the pattern so that it's nice and neat and clean. And this is just an easy way to get yourself going. And I believe that you want to cut your patterns out so that they are in the right size as you are getting started, and then you can change them as you need to. But if you have them cut out, then you're going to cut what you have cut out, and what you cut will reflect what you're doing. So we want your pattern to be sort of the gospel in order to keep things consistent. And you'll see this going forward. If you've chosen the right size pattern, you want to make that pattern. You don't want to say, well, I might need more here and there and add to it and not make a note or not trust the pattern that you have. You need to learn to create patterns that you trust and that you can go back to again and again. So again, we've pressed it with the little project iron. And I'm probably not going to need that again right now. So I'm going to turn it off and move it away. This is this adorable little Oliso project iron. And here we have the felt mats that you can use. This allows your space to do all kinds of different things for you. We're going to take this off, the felt mats, and move them away. And now we're going to look at the pattern and just sort of consider the different annotations that are on it that you need to know. This is also, we go over this in the book, and we also, in the direction book, and we also go over it in our class. If you are, have taken or are in the process of taking our Tabula Rasa Jacket virtual class, we talk about this a lot because it's really important. So I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to show you that these are the dart legs. And if you look at them as a whole, often people say, oh, I can't figure out which dart legs I'm supposed to use. Well, if you look at it in this big V, you can see that at each line of a pattern size, one set of legs is the one that is ending. And that is the one that you want to use for yourself. And these are pretty clean. Given that they're stacked so tightly, and so we think you'll be able to come and find the one that you want. Our darts go straight. They fit into a seam line. We think that's pretty clean and easy. You can choose to tip them, and we'll look at that in a session coming up when we talk about darts. All around the pattern, you can see that there are these notches, they're called. This is classic pattern making. And the notch is where this pattern will join another pattern piece along the seam, along the cutting line. And this is so important to remember the difference in a cutting line and a seam line. And on another pattern, we'll see that there's a little dot, and dots are another way, but dots are always placed at the 5/8 inch seam line. So you would have your dot here, say, for this smaller size pattern. Here are your grain lines. You have a grain line for the extra small through medium, and then a grain line for the large through 3XL. As you see, they run parallel. And that is what you want. Your grain line, in the case here where we're cutting on grain, we'll be cutting and focusing on cutting on grain. The grain line will have an important meaning for you. And these are what we call horizontal balance lines. You'll use those in the fitting process. And again, if you've taken the class or read the book, you know that we use those to help you see what you need to do to have a better fitting garment. So patterns cut to the right size, pattern is pressed, and it's ready to be used for some good, clean pattern work. Thank you for joining us for this introduction to pattern work for the Fit for Art jackets, the Tabula Rasa jacket, and the Opus pattern that comes in the patchwork jacket video. We are delighted that you're with us, and we hope you will continue to watch through the videos. The next video that we will have in the queue is about tracing the pattern and the materials that you need to do your pattern work well. So, enjoy!